Good morning from wherever you're listening to us and watching us from. Welcome. Today we have two key issues we're looking at. One is the Enugu State Governor's move to shut down shops that has refused to open on sit-at-home Mondays. So we'll look at that and the aftermath. Secondly, the Nigerian Labour Congress are embarking on a nationwide protest over the hardship occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy. Are these protests in any way justified? How can the government solve the problem of rising cost of fuel, food, rising cost of education, and virtually everything in the country? Stay with us as we talk to Mr. Tony Wachuku, who is a public affairs analyst, giving us an insight into what he thinks. This is the News Express.
There are two key issues we're going to be discussing. One is local, which is Enugu, and the other one is at the national level. Let's begin from the local scene, given that this is a developing story. A lot of people are looking out for the aftermath of what may have happened between the traders in Ogbete Market and the state government. We know the state government of Enugu State, led by Peter Mba, had warned sometime in July that shops would be shut down if they refuse to open. A whole lot of persons defied that order, given that over time they have tried doing that but put themselves in danger because they are not sure that the security agencies will be available to basically save them. But we know the clash that has happened. The state government went around shutting down shops. Because of that action, there was a clash between the security agencies and those shop owners who tried to open their shops just the day after the Monday that those shops were shut. I just wanted to give us an overview of what had happened, even though the normalcy has been restored, but there seemed to be this anger from the people. They have stated clearly that they cannot be forced by the state government to open their shops on the day that they don't want to open.
Well, thank you, Charles. My personal position on that matter is that government is a government of law. Having said that, now, when the current regime in the state got in and then we are issuing orders, the meaning is simple. What I understood by that is that probably the leadership of the state government does not understand that this is or the magnitude of penetration the state actors have done and how the people on their own have accepted their fate because of lack of security, life and property of citizens in Enugu State per se. Enugu is the regional capital of Southeast State or Southeastern Nigeria. From there it is now Southeast geopolitical zone. It remains. But the people living residents in Enugu, see Monday sit at home as a sacrosanct day that they need to protect their lives. Government should have understood that. And I think because when I listened to some of the representatives of the government, their comments, and down to very high principals of the government, also writing letters to businesses, signing, directing that you must open. The meaning is that I felt they didn't understand what they were into or what they were doing. The coordination was generally poor.
But again, this Monday sit-at-home cannot continue. The state government stated clearly that it doesn't want it to continue. And even though you might argue that the approach that he is using might not be lawful, but then again, what other approach? What do you advise that the state government does, at least pending when Nnamdi Kanu returns to court? What does he do to return people back to work on Monday?
Government needs to give a trust, a further trust bridge, a new bridge of trust needs to exist between the people.
How does he build that trust?
It's not something that can take place in a day. It's not a forceful thing. There is nothing they should do. That the police is there, the army is there. They understand you have the intelligence department too. So first and foremost thing is the government needs to find out who are these state actors operating. Who are they? How is their command? Their chain and command. You need to identify that. You need to do that by also bringing on other leadership, like traditional leadership.
Let's talk about other issues that are trending right now. The labor unions are on strike. As a matter of fact, they kicked off this morning. And across the country, we've seen substantial compliance. The workers are tightrope. We know how very harsh the economy has become, given the removal of fuel subsidy and the skyrocketing prices in virtually everything in the market. Whether you're calling it groceries, you're calling it foodstuffs, your staple foods, transportation is just on the high side. Do you think that the labor unions getting into this strike would force the government into, doing the needful as quickly as possible?
Labor involvement in consequential economic situations of a country is known. And today's protest in Nigeria, the protests that are commencing in Nigeria won't be exception, because personally I listened to the broadcast speeches of the president, and personally I've serialized that. I've gone through the broadcast line by line. For me, it remains a cartoon presentation. Now, we are in a very serious state of economic distraction. Why? Is because the president in his speech did not say anything about our major economic backbone. Our major economic backbone is the crude, the oil, refinery. He did not say that. He was more interested in announcing a 500 billion naira palliative package. 500 billion naira, for Christ's sake, will repair the three refineries. I can guarantee you that. Nigeria will make some savings from the 500 billion after we put the refineries back.